Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Fastlane preview and predictions. Hangout Toolbox is back, which means backgrounds are also back. This show, I'm not even going to give my opinion on it. I'm just going to say we have 6 matches. We're going to talk about the matches, and we'll give our opinions as we go. John, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to welcome everybody that's in chat so far. We got Hypothesis, Paul William Gregory, and Delexman's here with this hashtag Fire Road Dog thing. I'm not going to get too much into Road Dog, but I will talk plenty about Fastlane. Partner, I'm just going to repeat here what I said to you when we were playing Rocket League the other night. Like, if Elimination Chamber made me angry, and you know that I think I at least had at least 1 or 2 rants on our Elimination Chamber preview and predictions, because I'm just like, how could you go this way? And we're seeing some aspects of the Raw WrestleMania card that I'm just like, how do you even come to those conclusions? But that's Raw. On the SmackDown side, I'd almost say the feeling's even worse, because the feeling is apathy. I really honestly just do not care about Fastlane. And if I'm being truthful, and I'll say it here too, because I said it on Twitter, right now I really don't care about Styles Nakamura, which I think makes me care even less about the 6-pack, because I know there's not going to be a title change. I know Styles Nakamura is set to happen, and I'm not like the majority. I know you aren't either, where I'm just not really feeling it. I feel like this was Sami Zayn's year on the SmackDown side. I feel like he's done quality work, and just knowing that he's not going to be WWE champion or be that fixture, I don't know, just kind of a stick up my ass, so to speak. And yeah, I look at the rest of the card. I mean, I'm hopeful that maybe Ruby Riott can beat Charlotte, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. But like, even then, I'm like, no, because it's fucking Charlotte. And so there really, to me, isn't anything to care about. The only thing, and it's like getting blood from a stone, that you could say I care about is Usos New Day. And that's just because they never fail. Like, these guys are always just so on point. So I'd say my hype for this show, given my apathy and being fair to the performers, I'll be generous and say a 4 out of 10. That's the most I think you can get out of me. How are you feeling, man?
That is really, really generous to me. Like,
oh, are you lower than me this time? Because I know you were higher than me for Chamber.
You gotta understand. Like, if I didn't feel like us live reacting to this show would allow for our audience to have something entertaining to be able to enjoy on their Sunday night, I wouldn't want to do it. If I didn't feel that responsibility of, we provide more entertainment than the show will to our audience, we wouldn't be live reacting to it. We wouldn't even be watching it. We'd be playing fucking Rocket League or watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something the entire time. This show, to me, this show is completely throwaway. And again, that's being generous. Like, that's me being nice. Rather than calling it garbage or trash or worthless, I'll just say it's a throwaway. There is nothing on this show that makes me say, yeah, I want to watch that. Because the only match on here that I'm convinced is going to actually be good is a match that we've already seen done today over the course of the summer and fall and winter between the Usos and the New Day. So, and we've seen that feud play out to its logical conclusion, which ended with the Usos sort of turning face. And now we're going to get a face versus face team match between, like, I love the promo that Big E cut on SmackDown, and props to him for trying to get us invested, but holy shit, is this show horrible looking to me.
So what's your final score? If I'm a 4 out of 10, you sound to be at least a 2 out of 10, because I know you gave the Usos and New Day some props.
I'll actually say 1.5 out of 10.
Damn, scorched. You know what, though? I like that the script is flipped. I like that because I know you were more generous than me with Chamber. And I'm definitely just being slightly more generous than you with Fastlane. But I think you and I do have a general consensus that just, yeah. And really, with both Chamber and Fastlane, what does that spell for Mania? Because I know that we're both kind of meh, at least right now, on Mania. If anything, the true WrestleMania is looking like TakeOver fucking New Orleans. But that'll be another preview predictions for another time. Do you just want? Oh, actually, before we do get right into this, I do want to read Jarveris' $2 super chat. Why couldn't we just get AJ versus Sami? Beats the fuck out of me, Jarveris. Beats the fuck out of me. But you ready to get into this card, brother?
I'm ready to discuss matches that I give very few shits about. So let's get into that. The first one is the match that I care the least about, and I'm sure the match that has the least amount of actual consequences to go behind it. Becky Lynch teaming up with Naomi to take on Natalya and Carmella, because this makes sense. You spend weeks building up the trio of Charlotte, Becky, and Naomi versus the Riott Squad, and Becky Lynch and Naomi are teaming up on this show, and yet their opponents aren't Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. How much sense does that make?
Yeah, here's the thing. I love Glowfire. You know that. Like, they're amazing. And Carmella, I mean, we were talking about it the other night. I feel so bad for this woman, because here's the thing, guys. Am I saying that Carmella is like a Kyrie or an Io Shirai or those women, or like a Taylor Hendricks, or like the women that are really tearing the wrestling world up? No, not necessarily. But do I think she's talented? Absolutely, I do. I think she's been given a raw fucking deal here. Like, I feel so bad for her that they took Ellsworth away from her. And here's the thing. Not only did they take him away from her when he really was an asset to her heel gimmick, made her feel so complete. You know, she was the authority in that, you know, little faction, and like leading him around. And it was nice, you know, flip of power dynamics and this and that. But you don't even give her time to find her footing. Like, you could have at least prepped her for this. And I told you this in conversation, by giving her more mic time before the release and say, okay, Carmella, this is another reason why we did this. We got to let James go. Instead, you just threw her out in the deep end. Good luck, everybody else. And it's just like, what the fuck? So she deserves better than this. Why Becky isn't the top babyface of your brand just blows the fuck out of my mind, because I'm not even really in the mood to be scumbag right now. I'm too pissed at the WWE product at present to do any of that fancy shit. Like, Becky should be the top babyface. At the very least, if she's not your champion, she should be pursuing that title. And she hasn't been forever. So if you just put her back in the picture, it would feel pretty fucking fresh to me. Naomi, admittedly, is fine where she is. It kind of sucks that, you know, she had a run, then she really just cooled off after that. Because, I mean, I do like her. I do think she has something to give. And then if anybody heard our year-end awards, they know I ran it on Natalya hard. Probably the hardest run I've ever done on her. So that's all I can really say about her. I'm going to go with the baby faces here. I'm going to say Naomi pins Natalya, since they had the teaser that really got this whole match in motion. I do like that WWE is like openly mocking that Natalya probably doesn't have many friends, and it's not even because she's a cat lady. It's because she's a heart and they have their head up their own ass. So yeah, I'm going to go with the baby faces for the win. What about you?
I dig it, man. I dig it. And yeah, I agree. I highly doubt Natalya and who the hell is she teaming with?
Carmella.
Yeah, I highly doubt they win. The only reason they couldn't figure out who was teaming with Natalya is because there's no relationship established between Carmella and Natalya. It's literally just two random women who dislike one of the women or both of the women on the babyface team. Like, that's.
Well, can I just slightly correct you there? They do have a bit of a relationship because they were part of that faction, the Welcoming Committee.
Oh, that's true. That's fair.
The problem is, right? The problem is, where the fuck is Tamina been? And I'm not asking because I care. I'm asking because logic. And two, not only where is Tamina been, great storyline, by the way, WWE, that you just completely dropped and thought that we wouldn't notice, about Lana managing Tamina to the championship. So, like, you don't even know what you want to fucking do with your division, and you're actively self-sabotaging it. Like, it's actually laughable watching it happen if talented women weren't caught in the crossfire. Fuck yourself. So, yeah, just my other 2 cents on that.
Well, no, it is really depressing, though, because it really does come down to sort of the same old story that we've heard about TNA for the last decade, and we've been, well, not even last decade, last freaking 15 years. They've been around since like 2002, I think. And the story that we've been hearing more about WWE over the last decade, and that being, oh, they have all the talent in the world, they just don't know how to use it. That's the story of SmackDown right now. Raw knows how to use their talent, and I'm not saying all of it. I'm not saying that Raw is the best and that Raw makes all the right decisions, but Raw, over the last year or so, has done a hell of a job of creating stars. Because this time last year, Braun Strowman was nowhere near the big deal that he is now, although people did like him. Elias was on NXT and people hated him. Even people that knew he was a heel and knew that they were supposed to dislike him still thought he sucked. And, you know, Rollins was kind of in like the middle of I think he was in the middle of an injury, working his way to a match with Triple H at Mania. Like, I'm sorry, but to me, Raw has done what SmackDown did between the draft and WrestleMania last year, and that's create stars. So,
I agree with you. I agree. And let me just say before we continue to that conversation, chat did tell me that Tamina's injured. She has a torn rotator cuff. So I will redact that criticism in the interest of fairness. And I don't just want to be an angry guy. I want to be an informed angry guy at least.
right.
But yeah, Raw. I mean, hell, dude, I got to give Raw credit. The gauntlet match gave Seth Rollins his momentum back. And I really what I want, because at least Raw is showing flashes of, hey, you know the value of this performer, and you're cashing in on that value. I just wish it was a more consistent thing, dude. Because
like Raw, the thing with Raw is Raw gets a lot wrong. Like, to me, Raw handles their women and tag teams terribly, but their main event and upper mid card men's singles work is A+ to me.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Oh, we got a $1.99 euro chat here from Paul.
It's €1.99 super chat.
Maybe a couple of quid might cheer you two up. Well, I appreciate it, Paul. I've got other wrestling reasons that I'm salty today.
Though, is that, like, I don't need cheered up. I'm not depressed. I just don't like SmackDown.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, me and Ash have talked about SmackDown. I like performers on SmackDown just the same way I like performers on Raw, but do I like either brand as a whole as far as their structural issue? No. No. It's really kind of a drag right now, and honestly, I'm just looking to get through Mania. But here's the thing. Before, when you'd get through Mania, you'd be like, well, it's a new season, it's a fresh canvas, and that's still true to a point, but it's just co-branded pay-per-views all the fucking time now. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. So basically what we're getting at here is, even though Raw has a lot of bad things about it, it does more to help certain types of performers than SmackDown does for really anyone. Like, SmackDown has very few really well-booked storylines. And I will talk about one that I feel like has been well-booked later, but SmackDown really does only have like one, maybe two well-booked storylines. Raw, on the other hand, it's not necessarily that Raw books storylines really well. It's more that they book characters really well.
Yeah. I think that's a good sentiment to leave on. And we were only talking about the women's tag match, so I guess we can move on to our next match.
Yeah, and we both picked the babyface team to win that. So up next is the only other match left on this show without a championship at stake. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev, which was kind of a last-minute add-on. They did build to this in a roundabout way because they had Nakamura face Aiden English on an episode of SmackDown. And then I think Rusev challenged Nakamura on like a Twitter promo, and Nakamura accepted on SmackDown.
Yeah, I like both guys. So, like, from an in-ring perspective, I actually think these guys could do something cool. And, the drawing point for me, honestly, is crowd reaction. Because Rusev Day has become such a phenomenon, I'm hoping for at least a split crowd of Nakamura Rusev Day. Like, I think that'd be really cool. But I gotta go on another rant. It's funny that I said apathetic about Fastlane when I feel like a lot of anger coming out. Like, Nakamura won your Rumble. Why did he just get a match on Fastlane on the fucking go-home show? And the same goes for Rusev, a guy that's that over. And honestly, I gotta say it, and maybe this is just me being salty, and that's a fair criticism, and I would wholly accept that on the chin, but this is really smelling like some Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30 bullshit. Oh, we planned it all on. No, you fucking didn't. To me, WWE writing is like that episode of South Park. Remember when they were like worshiping the economy as a deity, and then Stan learns the truth that they cut a chicken's head off, and wherever the body lands when it goes limp, that's the action they decide to take. Like, that's what this feels like to me. But it's like, oh, he's really over, but we don't want him to be. So what do? We got to think of something. Oh, we haven't been using Shinsuke. Let's just put these two together. Like, why hasn't Shinsuke being your Rumble winner been a bigger focal point? Because to me, it hasn't been. Maybe people on our chat would disagree with me. And why are you fighting the current so damn hard? Now, I know we've talked about that with other performers before, and the answer's obvious, but like, Rusev's so over. I'm waiting for him to kick Aiden English in the face, put him in the accolade to a loud pop, and just have Rusev Day all to himself and ride that fucking wave. But WWE doesn't want that to happen, so they're putting these two forces together. Obviously, Nakamura is going to win here. I don't see him losing at least until Mania, and he might go over at Mania, but I haven't even decided that yet, and we'll decide that on preview predictions. So I'm going to go Nakamura. It's just you need to get your shit together, guys, because he just got added to this card on the Go Home show, and so did Rusev. And whether you like it or not, he is an overact. People are going to notice. Like, do something. So... Yeah, should be a
we
good
got
match.
a $5 super chat from Javaris Carter. He said, safe to say that Vince sabotaged SmackDown because it did better than Raw. Personally, I think that is a very misled view on the situation. You could argue, I think it's more likely that Vince sees Raw as the flagship and worked harder to make Raw better than SmackDown, but I don't think that he at any point would ever actively sabotage one of his own properties in a way that would cost him money. Vince cares too much about making money to do that.
I just feel like both these guys are in a play. Like, I'm not even going to like dabble in any of that, like what you just addressed, right? Because you already addressed it well enough. But keeping the focus on these guys, at the very least, if you wanted to keep Rusev, he should have gone over and said, you know, I want the biggest Rusev Day. I want the two holidays to collide, right? Rusev Day and WrestleMania. And I want to do that at your expense. I want your title shot. They've done it before with like Roman Reigns and other guys. We know that the guy's going to keep his WrestleMania title shot in Nakamura in this case this year. But still, at least gives it narrative teeth. The idea of, oh, you injured my friend's throat with your knee, when it's weird because it's knee to the face, not knee to the throat. You know, and now I want revenge on you. Like, it's very simple, and it's ironic because I'm always a guy advocating for simplicity, but it just feels so contrived to me. And you could have at the very least gone with, you know, oh, you know, put the WrestleMania title on, because that too is contrived, I'll admit, but at least it's more substantive to me than you were my friend, now I break you kind of thing. It's just it's silly, it's stupid, and I think both guys deserve better. But Nakamura for the win after hopefully like a 10-15 minute match or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. 10, 15 minutes, ideally closer to 15 than 10. And yeah, that's Nakamura. I really do hope that there is a point in this match where we get the chant that kind of shows like Nakamura isn't the only one over in this match. And we get Nakamura Rusev Day, Nakamura Rusev Day. The dueling chant is what I'm hoping to see in this match.
Can I just ask you something very quickly that's kind of off topic as it relates to this match before we move on to our next match? Because I know that there was a time that, like, you were really into Nakamura, and we know, like, his New Japan stuff has kicked ass. Would you say, like, well, first of all, how do you feel about him now? And second of all, like, it's kind of a tie into that question. How do you feel like the WWE booking has, like, affected your fandom or your perception of Nakamura? Because I'm curious. I know you were a big fan of the dude at one time. So
I still really do enjoy Nakamura. It's gotten to the point that I'm realizing that a big reason that I loved him so much in New Japan was because A, he got to work with other amazing workers, so they got to put on great matches with each other, which he doesn't really have as much of an opportunity to do in WWE. And B, his over-the-top personality really stood out amongst the more sort of vanilla characters that New Japan does have. And in WWE, there's more over-the-top characters. So really, Nakamura went from this like beautiful, crazy, like standing out entity who could put on great matches because of everyone else he's working with, to now he's more of like a guy who, like, obviously he's amazing in the ring and no one will deny that, but is he the best in the ring? Not in WWE now, because they have AJ Styles and that kind of thing. And there are all kinds of amazing matches, and he doesn't go all out unless it's like the biggest deal. So like, yeah, it's not necessarily that I think Nakamura sucks or that I'm not into him anymore or anything like that. It's just I'm waiting for him to ascend, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I just wanted to visit that very briefly because, again, like, I thought you would be a good model for the conversation I'm like really like trying to get at here. That, you know, I just feel like, again, it goes back to what I said in one of our early episodes, stuck with me since. You are what you're booked, but I think also if you're not booked, then you're just invisible. And it's kind of crazy to me that until very recently, the Royal Rumble fucking winner was invisible. But yeah, hopefully it's a decent match, and hopefully Nakamura does ascend. I'm sure we'll have more to say about that though when all the brush is cleared and it is just WrestleMania left. But that'll be a conversation for another time. What is our next match, partner?
Our next match is our first title match, and the title match that I give the fewest shits about. Randy Orton challenging for the United States Championship against Bobby Roode.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'd be more interested in this feud if Orton was explicitly heel rather than just like a calculating face. It's like, oh, RKO out of nowhere, which, you know, I get it. It's cool, but like, you know, I want to see the mean streak. Do not care at all about Bobby Roode as a heel, which is almost why I want Orton to go, because if you're going to try and make the Bobby Roode face experiment work, he needs some kind of a foil. And as far as the match itself, I mean, it should be decent, I guess. I don't fucking know. But like I told you last night, Ashton, I see this going to a no contest. I think Jinder's going to run in because he beat Orton on the go-home show, and he feels like he's the uncrowned U.S. champion. He even explicitly said that in a SmackDown Fallout segment on YouTube. And I think, you know, he's going to want to insert himself in that picture, so he's going to spoil the Orton-Roode match because he's a heel, and that's what he does. And it's going to lead to a triple threat at Mania. So I'm going to go with Bobby Roode retains via DQ.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would say by DQ, but I have a really hard time believing the title's going to change hands here. Based on the fact that I am hearing a rumor that the U.S. title match at Mania is going to be a triple threat, Roode, Orton, Mahal, I'm going to guess that, I'm going to just kind of go with you and say Roode retains via DQ. Maybe Roode even turns heel to retain. I don't know.
That would be interesting. Like, just something. Oh, my God. I don't know, bro. But yeah, I'm sticking with my no DQ prediction. And it sounds like you said you just don't see the title changing hands, so you're going with Roode retaining. So we both agree Roode's retaining. We may just disagree about the means. What's our next matchup?
Oh, well, our next matchup is the sort of the next least important title match, the match that we've already seen 100,000 times, it feels like. The Usos defending against the New Day. I think the worst part about this match is that this is face versus face. Like, I really, like, I don't want to see either one of these teams lose. I don't really care if the title changes hands or anything. So I just, as much as I know that these two teams can go in the ring, I just can't force myself to care about this match because of who it is now.
You know what? This is where I dial back the anger a bit, because I genuinely love both of these teams. They've done nothing wrong, you know, and really no performer's done anything wrong. It's, again, more the structural issues at present here. I think the best thing to come out of this thrown together tag match, it's kind of retreading on a lot of history, which, hell, I think, you know, if you want a guaranteed good match, it was smart to put your money on these two horses, so to speak. But I think the best thing to come out of it was Big E's promo. I love hearing this man talk in a way that wasn't comedic and that was actually serious, because that just, again, kind of bumps his value up to me. If really, I should say if and not when anymore, because I don't even know, if this team ever dissipates and Big E tries to go for like a big singles push, or I should say if WWE ever wants to go for a big singles push with Big E, that's the more appropriate wording. You know that he can talk and be serious, and he's got the ability to back it up. So that was a great thing to come out, and I've been loving the Usos vibe lately. They had a promo 2 weeks ago that like gave me goosebumps, and they're talking about how they were paying their dues and hustling, and it was all to get here, and they're the best, and they want that WrestleMania match. Like, these guys have a lot of fire to them, and I love that. I think, to touch on your point, it is a retread. We've seen this match a lot of times before, and face versus face is a bit problematic, but I think what helps me kind of circumvent that personally is I think the story at play here is the Usos believe in their mind, look, we beat the New Day. We finally get to be on the main WrestleMania card because we've been asking for it. We're the champions. We're dominant champions. Like, this is a different Usos than the Usos that were on the pre-show, because that was still like the Sivu Tao and the face paint and all that crap. But there is no bigger obstacle to us than the New Day with everything they've done. So it's kind of like my personal narrative. Like, the Usos want to get on that WrestleMania main card. You have a better chance to do it with a championship. They've got to get past the New Day. And because I feel like the Usos have the greater motivation here, where New Day's already done everything. And really, in another way, it's kind of like a retreadception, because it's just going back to championships they've already had dominant reigns with. I'm going to go with the Usos here to retain. And honestly, I'll even go one step further. I'll say the Blunder Brothers will make an appearance and attack Usos post-match once the dust is settled. So that's my prediction.
Yeah. I definitely think the Usos are going to win this. And really, if I'm going to be cheering for anyone in this match, it will be the Usos, because I do want to see them get their WrestleMania match, because that's like I wasn't necessarily a fan of them before they turned heel on SmackDown, but the work that they've put in for the last year or two has just been exceptional, and especially the promo work. Like, yeah, they definitely, if anyone quote unquote deserves to have an actual match on the main card of WrestleMania, it's the Usos at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you just said, and I think we can move on.
All right. Fifth match and our first, kind of big deal match, and the one match on this card that I genuinely do feel was built well. Charlotte Flair defending the women's championship against Ruby Riott.
I have a little bit I want to say about this. I mean, shocker, but I actually want you to go first, because I know you've been giving praise, like in conversations with me, like to the build of this. So I just kind of want you to walk us through like your feelings about it, and then of course ending in your prediction.
Yeah, like, here's my thing. I still don't like Charlotte, and the promo that she cut on Tuesday was absolute garbage in my eyes. But I can still appreciate a well-written story when I see one, and to me, this is a well-written story. You basically did a really good job of setting up the Riott Squad versus Charlotte and her two friends, Becky Lynch and Naomi. You gave Ruby Riott credibility by having her go over Becky Lynch and Naomi. You gave Charlotte, as if she needed it, more credibility by having her go over both other members of the Riott Squad, Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. And now the promo segment that they had really kind of did make it feel a little bit more personal. Ruby, I still question her promo style with the extra growling, and kind of the delivery is a little spotty at times, but the content of the promo that she cut on Tuesday, I thought was really good. I really thought that the promo made a lot of sense, and it got me really invested in wanting to see her take the title off of Charlotte. And then Charlotte rebutted with a bunch of bullshit that was not true whatsoever. So yeah, I am 150% behind Ruby here, which is going to piss me off, because there's no fucking way she's actually going to win this match. And if she does, it'll be the pop of the night for me.
So happy you said everything you did, because I completely agree with you. And I really do have to just take a second and praise Ruby Riott, because we talk about NXT call-ups that just get like called up out of nowhere. And yeah, Ruby Riott, because of her like indie experience and stuff, is by no means a Mandy Rose or a Sonya Deville. And I'm not trying to say that, but still, when you get thrust in a spot, you get thrust in a spot. I don't care if you're a 10-year vet or you're just first day on the job. And I feel like she's acclimated very well. I am a fan of the Riott Squad. I don't know. Maybe I feel that personal kinship with Ruby because I had that weird dream about her recently that I tweeted about. But no, she's great. She's great. I really enjoy Ruby. I agree. She's not the best promo, but at least she has a voice. You know what I mean? Like, at least there's something there where, I mean, I agree with you. People like Charlotte and Natalya, mother of God. I'm with you. I'm rooting for Ruby all the way on this. I would love for her to be the champion. I agree with you. Also, I'll take it one step further because I know you've said this to me, that the SmackDown Women's Championship match would be best served as Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott. I think that would be so freaking cool. I don't even know what we're going to get on the SmackDown side anymore because I was so confident in Asuka Charlotte, but they haven't done fuck all with. I guess they are just assuming Asuka's going to go with Alexa. I don't even know anymore. To be honest, part of me doesn't even care if you're going to take this long. I care more about Sasha Bailey because they're actually doing shit, both on and off camera. Ruby should win this, but she won't, so I'm not going to get my hopes up. Charlotte to retain.
Yeah, pretty much same here. I'm going to be pulling for Ruby the whole time, but I won't believe that she's actually going to win until I see it happen. So, yeah, Charlotte retains is my official prediction. As annoyed as that does make me, I'm just going to have to kind of, choke it down. So then we get to our main event. AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler. And again, we literally just got this exact same match, sans John Cena, on Tuesday night. and the winner was Sami Zayn, which I hate because that makes me believe that there's no freaking way he's winning this, which I think would be a great decision, because the only thing that could possibly be better than just, you know, getting AJ versus Nakamura would be AJ Zayn Nakamura in a triple threat. Come on. Yes, please. And,
I got one. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to say, and now they're basically banking on John Cena vying to win his 17th world title as the selling point, because he was the only guy that wasn't left in that 5-way match on Tuesday that is going to be in this match. So they really are banking on people are going to buy this pay-per-view or buy the network to watch this pay-per-view just to see John Cena try and win his 17th world title.
Seems kind of tone deaf to me. But no, you're absolutely right, which makes it more hysterical. I have one more rant in me, and it's about this match. But before I go on it, is there anything else you wanted to say about this match before I go off on this?
I actually do have something that I want to say about this match. Specifically, I just wanted to say that I really don't have as much of a problem if he would win, if Cena would win. I actually really think that the idea of AJ Nakamura Cena in a triple threat would be freaking excellent. I would love that match. Honestly, I'm more excited about the idea of that match than just Nakamura versus Styles, because I've seen Nakamura Styles before, and it was in New Japan before these guys came to WWE and had their styles watered down. And even then, I felt like it was underwhelming. So I just definitely feel like Styles versus Nakamura at WrestleMania, it almost has to be underwhelming if it was underwhelming at Wrestle Kingdom. So you throw Cena in the mix. We've already seen John Cena in the ring with a couple of legit workhorses. Like, I mean, we saw him versus Seth, and then obviously Brock was also in that match. But him versus Seth and Brock was a freaking amazing match. That was the match of the year that year. So Cena versus Nakamura versus Styles, I think, would be an even better match than just Nakamura versus Styles. That's my 2 cents. Now you get to go.
Okay. I'm going to talk about the things that I really like about this match first, because honestly, I'm not coming in totally hating this match, but there are aspects of it that I do utterly loathe. The good things. I actually feel like they've booked Baron Corbin. Actually, I'd say both him and Ziggler in a way as just 2 random add-ons pretty well here. Especially Baron, I want to focus more on him because at least Ziggler got a U.S. title run before he walked off for 4 weeks, which he even said in an interview he was thinking that it would be several months. Clearly, he didn't listen to CM Punk when he exited and how little time he got. I don't think they like to give extended time off if you're not explicitly injured, and even then it's questionable. But Baron, I feel like, did get some decent rehab, at least a little bit. And I actually agree with a lot of my friends that I've been talking to about this, that Baron really does shine in multi-man matches. I've been hearing, even like seeing other people say in that 5-way, that like Baron was one of the standouts. So I don't know what it is about multi-man matches, but I guess it's just Baron's element. So, you know, that's a plus. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I'm still intrigued by the story. Still absolutely love it. Where it's kind of a nitpick, I won't say that this is one of the things that I utterly loathe, because we'll get to that in a second. But, you know, one of the nitpicks was I really thought one of the narrative points of Fastlane was going to be, oh, is Sami really going to lay down for KO? And, guys, I'll tell you what I told Ashton. I thought the way the spot was going to play out, and I'm sure you guys probably felt the same. I don't know. But, you know, Sami, like, the whole ring was going to be cleared. We could even have an image of them taking care of AJ last. Then they look at each other, and then Sami all excitedly lays down. He's like, come on, Kevin, pin me, pin me. Kevin goes to do it. Bam, Sami tries a cradle. Kevin, of course, kicks out, and we see the implosion there, planting the seeds for a Mania match between these two. And, you know, I'm just curious who would be the face and heel in that. I still haven't even worked that out in my head. But anyway, WWE just said, fuck that. Because they actually do take out AJ together, and then the Holuva kick on SmackDown. Sami pins Kevin, and Sami has a great promo afterwards where he's like, well, he actually said underlooked when really the term's overlooked, but regardless, like, I'm the most underlooked performer on the roster. Dasha, why? Like, I love his fire. I love that he's angry. I love that he's good. And he's always been good, even when I wasn't enthused about him as a babyface. But this personality shift, man, just, God, it's so welcomed. And Kevin Owens with just that look on his face, because we know he has a complex and he's probably feeling so insecure, and I love it because that's when he's at his best. So, yeah, those two still really good to me. I don't know how it's going to play out at Fastlane, so I will say I guess that does kind of hook me in a way. But I'm sorry, I just feel like I feel like doing a six-pack challenge is so unnecessary because I feel like the big WrestleMania idea, right, is Styles Nakamura. I don't see that match getting tampered with. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Ashton, that a triple threat would be better. So we're in complete agreement about that. I just feel like my criticism is, don't you at least want to entertain us on the way there? Like, for as good as Baron and Dolph, or I should say for as well as Baron and Dolph have been booked as like late additions and Cena's story of a path to WrestleMania is interesting, I still feel like all these weeks later, it should have been Zayn Styles. Zayn's work out of these five guys has been the best easily. And you guys know what a big Kevin Owens fan I am, but fair is fair. He's blown every guy in this out of the water. Everyone, even AJ, who I love. But I'm sorry, AJ's promos recently have been meh, if not bad. Whereas Sami's voice and like his motivations, I feel it. I dig it every time because it's genuine and it's honest. Like, he still, in his entire WWE tenure, not including NXT, has not won a single championship. And we know how talented he is. And, like, he talks about it, and it's real. So, like, I don't know why we didn't go here. But instead, we still have to focus. And that is kind of grating on my nerves, too, to be honest, with still the Bryan-Shane dynamic. It was interesting at first, but now it's getting to be a bit overkill to me because it's like, oh, well, you make a match. Well, now let me come in and let me just, kind of mess this match up. And I'm just like, oh, my God, these are like two children just going back and forth. It just, I don't know. It's not really doing much for me. And again, AJ's retaining. And I just feel like I would have been more comfortable with that if we got a really good match out of it, which Sami and AJ could have done by themselves. And you still could have had the narrative of Kevin wanting to be in Sami's spot, knowing that he's insecure and knowing that he's jealous. And you still get to wherever you're trying to go with those two that way. Because I'm thinking implosion, but maybe they'll swerve us on that. So, yeah, I don't really care for this match. I feel like they really tainted what started out as a really good thing with all these additions and everything else, and it just overbooked to shit to me. AJ to win. Ziggler's probably going to eat the pin, and Sami and Kevin are probably going to be the best thing about this match, if I'm truthful, because their tension is going to be a bigger driving point than either Cena getting his 17th title, Ziggler proving that he's the man again, or AJ getting his dream match with Nakamura. Like, it really is the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens show. And yeah, I did say it right. So AJ to retain.
We got a $4.99 super chat from Brandon Best. Screw John Cena winning his 17th. I'm banking on Ziggler becoming the ha 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 ha. Oh, it hurt to say that.
Yeah, I bet it did. I'm amazed it still doesn't hurt Dolph Ziggler to say it all this time later.
So, yeah, I think that we are both banking on AJ Styles retaining here. That's my official prediction as well. I do, like, there are some interesting options that they could go with. Like, if they wanted, they could do, like, the ultimate swerve and have Sami actually lay down for Kevin and be like, look, the only reason that I did that on Tuesday was to throw the scent off, and the title wasn't on the line then anyway, so it didn't matter that I won. The goal here was to get you the title.
Yeah, that is, and that thought did cross my mind. Like, and dude, can I just say, like, it's really refreshing seeing Sami Zayn doing the mind fucking to Kevin Owens and not the other way around. Like, it is. I gotta tell, because I watched the backstage because Kevin Owens still is having a hard time believing it. Now he's really gonna have a hard time believing it, given the events of the Go Home show. And he's like, it's almost too good to be true. But I know what a good guy you are. And seeing Kevin get suckered the way that he suckered Sami so many times, like, it's delicious to me. And yeah, like, these guys are the driving point. I really wish that Sami would have gotten more spotlight than being just 1/6 of a matchup. It really irks me. And I think that says a lot because I've never advocated for him this passionately before. And you know that. Everybody knows that. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with this.
Oh man, so that's where we are, man. That's where we are.
I think I'll join you on that 1.5 because really now learning that I'm angry and I'm like, my God, you could have such an amazing WrestleMania because the talent's all there, and you even have a lot of the motivations too. It's not like a lot of those are out of thin air. It's just, oh my God. Yeah. I'm joining you, man. Fucking 1.5. Fuck Fastlane. Any concluding thoughts before we close out here?
Oh man, that was brutal.
Existence is pain to a me seeks, Jerry. Yeah, you're not the only one, me seeks. You're not the only one.
Oh man. All right, man. Well, I don't really have a lot to add. I'm curious. Really, the only match on this card that I even have is on my radar is Ruby Riott versus Charlotte, because even though I'm in my mind, I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for the Charlotte retention because I'm just convinced that it's happening. If Ruby does win, everything gets interesting on the SmackDown women's side for just a moment. Even if Charlotte ends up winning it back on the following SmackDown, it's just like boom, suddenly things are interesting again.
I hope she has an Andrade moment, dude. I hope she shocks the fuck out of all of us. Go Ruby Riott. Really. Like, I'm going to be cheering for all my moves against all the odds. I'm going to be like, go Sami, go Ruby, do it. And then when they fail, it's just going to be like Chamber. Like, I'll have given them a little bit of rope to hang me with, but I'll laugh on the way down. You ain't going to get sadness out of me, not when I see it coming. Fucking suckers. Anyway, that's all from me, kids. See you Sunday for live reactions. And God, I'm not looking forward to Mania at all. Please just Lucha Underground Season 4, just get here. And you know what? No, I was going to say something else, biting my tongue, but no, just Lucha Underground Season 4, get here, please. Seriously.
All right, we got a £1.99, or I guess they're not cents, so I'm just going to say £1.99 super chat from PW Gregory. He said, please spend the rest of your time to pimp WrestleMania 17. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be live reacting and reviewing WrestleMania 17 on Tuesday. The live reaction will be at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. British Standard Time. And we are going to be reviewing it probably within a half hour of finishing up the live reaction, whatever time that works out to be. I'm just hoping that we're able to finish everything up by the time Raw starts so that those of you that want to watch Raw are able to do that. And then on Wednesday, because we no longer do Lucha Rewatch because we finished the season out, Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This changed because we had a scheduling thing, but it's all good. Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be getting Chris Roach and Chris DJ DeJoseph, two of the writers from Lucha Underground. DeJoseph is the head writer and an executive producer. Roach also helps write the show. Are going to both be here on TwitWow talking Lucha Underground and specifically talking about storylines that were either altered or dropped throughout the first 3 seasons. That's Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I am so excited to get these guys on here and talk Lucha with them. These are the masterminds behind the product that we know and love as Lucha Underground. And then on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. after NXT ends, we will review NXT. I don't think we have anything else planned for next week as of right now, but still, that's enough. WrestleMania 17 live reaction and review. Plus, we got DJ and Roach on. We're going to be interviewing those guys, talking about Lucha seasons 1 through 3 storylines. And then Wednesday night to cap everything off, NXT review. That's next week. I'm excited about it. I know John's excited about it. John, anything else that you would like to say before we close this thing out officially?
Nah, brother. I hope you guys enjoyed Fastlane preview predictions. Looking forward to Paul's Patreon request of WrestleMania 17. And we'll see you all again for Fastlane live reactions. We go live with that at 8 p.m. EST. And hopefully it's a good show, guys. I mean, you guys always make it a fun show, so I'm counting on you. But yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that you enjoyed this show. Remember to leave a like if you did. Comment on the video. Let us know what you think is going to be happening at Fastlane. Let us know what your hype is for Fastlane. All that kind of stuff. Let us know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And remember to click the bell icon when you do so that you can get notified every time we go live or upload a video. And finally, remember to like the Facebook page and follow us both on Twitter. And if you're interested in supporting TwitWow as a brand, as a channel, you can do so by either buying our merch on Teespring or supporting us on Patreon. On Patreon, it's only $3 a month, and you get access to the exclusive TwitWow Patron Discord. It's an awesome, intimate form of a chat that allows you instant access to John and myself, as well as other TwitWow fans that decided it was worth their $3 a month to get in on it. We're up to over 20 people in there now. It's pretty great. I love being able to just go in there and ask you guys about wrestling. We've got our local women's wrestling expert in Jackie. She's in Discord. We've got all kinds of different fun personalities in Discord. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend the experience, and I would appreciate the donation if you were willing to do so. But that's not all, though, because remember, we're live reacting to and reviewing WrestleMania 17 next week. We wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for PW Gregory's donation to Patreon. And he didn't donate all in one shot. No, he's been saving $3 a month, $5 a month, $8 a month, $10 a month, different months, different amounts, different months. It all adds up. And now Paul has saved up enough money to request this live reaction review combo coming up on Tuesday. That's going to be a lot of fun. And you can do the same thing. You can save up over time, get into the Discord, mingle, interact with people, interact with me and John. And all the while, every month that goes by that you're in the Discord, those $3 are adding up, brother, adding up. After 10 months, you've got $30 in there. You can buy a 3-hour live reaction or a live reaction review to a 2-hour show. That's how quickly this stuff adds up. And of course, it also will contribute to our Patreon community goal, where once we get back up to $120, we'll start live reacting to Progress every Tuesday again. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you all on Sunday for our live reactions to this show. But until then, remember to stay tuned.